class.
Wonderful. Hello, Beady friends. I am Meredith Roddy from Beadalon and Artistic Wire, and I am very excited, as always, to be teaching the class for the Michaels Community Classroom today. Today's class is going to be all about memory wire. We are going to make a beautiful memory wire bangle together, but as I do with all of my classes, we are going to do a deep dive into all things memory wire. We'll talk about all different ways of using it. Felicia, can everybody hear me? I'm getting a note in the comment that Pet can't hear anything. Are we good to go?
So we're good to go on my
Okay.
end. Pat, I would suggest taking a look at your Zoom meeting because it has its own sound. So definitely make sure you check your sound on your Zoom and make sure it's not on mute. So
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
give
I'm getting comments that they can hear,
yes.
so that's good. Fantastic. Just wanted to very at the very get-go make sure that everyone can hear. And yes, Finn is here as well in the home studio today. We're working from home. As I was saying, we are going to do all things memory wire. We're going to learn about all the different kinds of memory wire, the different sizes of memory wire, and many different finishing techniques as we go along. And as we go along, please feel free to write any questions that you might have. If I'm not clear about something, I'm just going to hit it over in the comments, and I'm pretty good about keeping up. And if there's something that I do miss, Felicia will definitely give me a little virtual tap on the shoulder and make sure that I address everybody and anybody's concern. So can you scooch please? Thank you, Finn. All right. He knows. He knows it's time to get to business. So let's talk memory wire for the Michaels Community Classroom. Felicia, I think we can just right at the top of the moment. Go ahead and take that overhead camera and get right into it. I have a lot of things on the mat today. I have a lot of examples of projects made with memory wire. I, of course, have all of my tools. We're going to be talking about the importance of using the right tools. And I have a bunch of memory wire over here. But let's start at the very beginning, because that's always where I like to start. What is memory wire? When you walk into the Michael store, at least in my Michael store, there are a couple of different setups, but generally you'll see the memory wire at the very top row of the stringing. I'm sorry, the very top row of the wire working section. So it generally goes memory wire, then German style wire, then artistic wire, and all of the different types of wire. Memory wire, although it says wire in its name, is really more of a stringing product because we're not actually doing any wire working with memory wire, although you could, but that's a class for a different day. I really like to think about memory wire more in the stringing category because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be stringing beads onto the memory wire to make either a bracelet or a necklace or a ring, depending on what it is that you are using. So memory wire is carbon steel, go a little technical for a second, and it's like a slinky. It holds its shape. So if you pull it out of shape to put it on, for example, it will spring back into shape. So you actually don't even need a clasp when you're working with memory wire. You could just do a memory wire bracelet with several different rounds and no clasp on the end. Okay. But memory wire is also very versatile. You can wire wrap onto it. You can use more than one length of memory wire, attach it together, and make it into a cuff. This is kept apart by lots of links of beads. You can also use spacer beads. There's some really cool, I'm sorry, spacer bars. There are some very cool spacer bars in the Michaels findings section right now, and you can use them to make a really neat cuff with two sections of beads. So the takeaway message is that there is more to make than just a simple bangle, but We have to start somewhere, so that is what we are going to make in our class today. Keep in mind, lots of different types of beads you can use on memory wire also. One of my greatest aha moments is when I realized that bugle beads will fit over memory wire. I never really thought to do that. And indeed and in fact, it works. And I think it looks fantastic. And again, you can see this memory wire holds its shape. So it's different from German style wire. It's different from artistic wire in that it is a full hard wire. So if the words that I'm using are a little unfamiliar, I definitely encourage you to go and watch one of the many wire working intro or intermediate or even advanced videos that we have done for the Michaels Community Classroom. Unbelievable resources and so generous of our friends at Michaels to make all of these videos and classes available for all of us for no charge. You can go to the Michaels YouTube channel and search up the Community Classroom and find everything from beading to all different kinds of crafts. It's fantastic. So memory wire is a full hard wire, which means it's very difficult to bend. And it also is a brittle. So things to keep in mind when you're using different materials are what those materials are, what their capabilities are, but also what their limitations are. And we're going to talk all about that through our class today. So as I mentioned, when you go into a Michaels store, right on the top of the wire section, you'll find a row of memory wire. So it's memory wire, then German style, then all of the different wire working wires. So just to know when you're going in, what to look for and where. There is a large bracelet in silver, also in gold. There is an extra large bracelet there as well. There is also one of my favorite shapes, which is an oval memory wire. And I want to just take a moment to talk about the oval because that's actually what I'm wearing right now. Oval memory wire is one of those memory wires that because it's just in one package, sometimes gets overlooked. Shouldn't get overlooked. It is a fantastic shape because our wrists are oval. And so to do a cuff like this with a magnet clasp, and again, we're going to talk about that with the round as well. It's a great shape. Gets a little funky when you start doing it in wraps. It still works, but it's one of my favorite go-tos for this type of design where I just have one loop and my clasp, and it's a great last minute project. So let's see. Oh, one other thing. Don't throw away your scraps. Sometimes when you're doing different cuts on memory wire, you get a little scrap, right? A little half moon. Here I just have this very simply strung up with a couple of beads. This could be a focal point, add a chain here for a necklace. It could be an earring. You could put tons of these together and make a bracelet or a necklace, lots of different possibilities. But I love the idea of using the scraps and using the little pieces left over from your memory wire in your, and for more designs. Okay, so let's see. I'm kind of going around the circle to make sure I hit everything. So we talked about the different types of memory wire. Let's talk tools before we start stringing things up. Again, I mentioned we're doing a project today, but we're also doing a big overview of memory wire. So first things first, and this is the second more about memory wire point on the handout. These are memory wire shears. Always, always, always. And those of you who have taken my classes before and who join me for the Beadalon Facebook Live every Thursday know that this is one of my mantras, always and only use memory wire cutters when you are working with memory wire. If you use your good cutters, let's say, I know I have a pair here that has a nice big notch in them. Let me just find, oh, here it is, second chance. Okay. If you use your good cutters to cut your memory wire, see that hole there? Not the hole down the big one here, but that hole right there. That's what memory wire will do to the blade of your good cutters, or your medium cutters, or your economy cutters. They will eat those, eat them up and ruin them. You always, always, always want to use memory wire cutters to cut memory wire. Now, the fun thing also is these guys are great for cutting thick wire, for cutting, just putting on my do not disturb on my phone. I have a friend who is um, giving me a lot of information and texting, so I just wanted to turn that off real quick. Sorry about that. The memory wire cutters you'll also find at Michael's, and these guys will cut 14 and 16 gauge artistic wire. They're actually really good for cutting leather as well. They're a bypass cutter, so they give a really nice clean cut. So sometimes, and we're going to talk about some tools that might just be a one use tool, but these are a powerhouse. But you always want to make sure, again, how many times can I say it? I'm going to keep saying it until my message drives through. Only memory wire cutters to cut memory wire, or you'll ruin your other good cutters. Another really helpful tool to have is the looping plier. This is actually also available at Michael's. This is one of the very, very first tools that I ever bought as a beater. And it's great for turning the loops on memory wire. We're going to get to that in just a second. If you don't have these guys, not to fret. Round nose pliers, another great tool to have. And I'll show both ways of turning loops in the memory wire. Really good tip that Wanda just put into the comments. She said, I keep my memory wire cutters with my memory wire. When I got out my box of memory wire, I put all my other cutters out of reach. Yes, that is a very, very, very good tip. This is a memory wire bending plier. Now, it's a very small nosed bail making plier, and it has two different sizes of barrels, a smaller one and a larger one. This is another good tool to have on hand to make loops of memory wire. You'll always get consistently sized loops when you use this tool. If you do have this tool, I always recommend making sure to put the memory wire all the way back in the very back of the jaw, because this is a thin piece of metal and memory wire is pretty darn tough. And you don't want to run the risk of bending or even snapping off this part of the tool. Last but not least, specialty tool. This one is called a pinch bail plier. And I wish that we had given it a more general name, because this guy does so much more than just close pinch bails. It's also really, really good for closing the ends of memory wire. So let's real quick take us through each of these tools and show how they work with the memory wire. Again, we're going to do our project today, but it's really important to know all of the different things that memory wire can do. What is the tool I mentioned after the cutter? I don't remember which order I sent it in. Was it this guy, the wire looping pliers? I think so. And on the handout, I mentioned the Michael's part number for the wire looping pliers as well. So you'll be able to grab that either from the website or in store. So for our project today, we're going to be using 2 full loops of memory wire. So again, it comes in a slinky, and I measure my loops. I just kind of eyeball them from start or the end of where the cut is. So 1 loop and then 2 loops. And again, memory wire cutters, not the regular cutters. And you'll hear what a nice cut that is. And it's a really nice flush cut on both sides. It's a little tough to see on the video, but it gives a flat cut on both sides here. So I'm going to need two for my project today. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut my other one as well. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this and snip it. Good to go. And I can put my cutters aside because I don't need them anymore for this project. So a couple of different ways to do our ends. Of course, there are memory wire ends, right? That you can glue on. I'm gonna say it, that I brought my memory wire end caps out. So we're not using these for a project today, but I did want to mention they're little half drilled balls, and we have them in the Beadalon pack like this, but you can get them in other shapes or sizes, or all different um, finishes and different various levels of fanciness and different sizes. And you would use some glue to glue the ends onto the memory wire. But again, easiest way to get started making jewelry. Here we are talking about about turning loops. And for these loops, I'm going to be using the memory wire finishing pliers. I'm going to do them actually with 3 different ways of turning loops. So you can turn a simple loop on the end like this, or you can actually turn a little coil. Again, no judgment. If you're more comfortable doing doing a coil, great way to finish off, or to start, in my case, memory wire. So I'm going to show a bunch of different ways to do this. So the first one, and again, I'm putting that wire all the way in the back of the jaw. I'm not going up here. I'm going all the way in the back of the jaw of my memory wire finishing pliers. And I'm just going to rotate my tool and my wrist, and see how I'm using small movements. I'm not going and really over bending my wrist. I'm bending and I'm repositioning, bending, repositioning, bending, repositioning, bending, repositioning. It's a lot easier on your wrists. You want to make sure that you're letting the tool do the job, not your muscles, because nobody wants to get hurt when they're making jewelry. It's supposed to be fun and enjoyable, not owie. It's the best way I can say it. Fun and enjoyable, not owie. But let's go ahead and look at a couple of other ways of turning loops on the end, because maybe that way of turning loops isn't your cup of tea. Maybe you don't have that tool. Maybe you have a round nose pliers. So let's go ahead and use our round nose pliers. Now, a great tip that I am going to share with everyone today is to take a permanent marker and make a line on your round nose pliers. And I have a pen cup here with no less than 20 pens. Here we go. I knew I had a permanent marker in here someplace. Permanent marker, one here. I actually usually close my tool to do this. I'm going to make a line with your permanent marker. This is great for wrap loops, simple loops. Anytime you want something consistent and you're using your round nose pliers. You don't have to do that if you're using the memory wire or any bail making pliers, because it's the same size all the way down the tool. But here, this is tapered. So in order to get the same size, it's very helpful to have a loop. So here, I'm going to make a smaller loop. I'm going to turn, 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 just like before, but I'm going to stop when my loop just becomes like a simple loop. But I'm not going to stop there. This is one of my favorite techniques, and it's called breaking the neck. And what I really need is a bent chain nose plier. And even though I have thousands of pliers, somehow all of my bent chain nose pliers have disappeared for right now. So what am I going to do to fix that situation? I'm going to grab one from up here because I have nothing but a lot of pliers here in the home studio. All right, small break. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to break that neck. And by that, I mean, I'm just going to bend it back just a little bit. Okay. Now, this is where these bail making pliers, or I'm sorry, bail closing pliers come in really handy because you can come in here and give a little gentle squeeze and close up that loop just a little bit more. Okay. So it's a little extra, it's a little next step, but it's also a really nice way to get a cleaner finish on a memory wire bracelet that other designers aren't going to do. Your jewelry, whether you're selling it, whether you're gifting it, whether you're wearing it yourself, is always going to look just a beat nicer by doing these couple of extra things. But again, let's back up. Let's go back to easy. So I have my traditional coil right here. Really, really good place to get started. Keep in mind that this class is going to be posted on the Michael's YouTube channel in probably about 24 hours. They've been great about getting classes up really, really quickly. So if you've missed a step that I've done, and I don't have a chance to go back and show you exactly everything, in a day's time, you can go back and watch the tutorials over and over and over again. Fast forward through the chit chat and the silly jokes, and just get to the meat of the tutorial. So this is kind of the fiddly part, because what I'm doing in this project is I'm not just doing one strand. A one strand bracelet is pretty straightforward, right? Big bead, little bead, big bead, little bead, or whatever your pattern is going to be. Here I have a couple of strands that are a smaller bead, and then I finished up with a larger bead. Honestly, anything goes when it comes to memory wire bracelets. One of my favorite finishing techniques also is adding a little dangle do on the end. Great for leftover beads, great for charms, great for pretty much anything, any dangle do that you want to do. Those little loops just crave something hung off of them. But we're doing it a little bit of a step up. And for today's project, I am using two different kinds of beads. I'm using a size 11 seed bead and a SuperDuo. So these you can find on the seed bead wall. Compliments of my friends at John Bead, who supply the seed beads for the seed bead wall. Size 11s, while small, are really the better bead to use. I did do an example with size 8s, and it worked out just fine. But I really think this one is not finished yet. I really think that the 11s not only look nicer, but they're a little bit easier to fiddle around with. You'll just have to trust me on that after making a couple of different examples. So we're not going to be able to see those. I liked them for the design, but now that I'm looking at them, I'm realizing that we're not going to be able to see. So if I were a size 11 seed bead in a color, let me just grab something so that we can all see. I got all excited about my design, and then I just realized that we're not going to be able to see. So I'm going to go ahead and use this brown mix. So we're going to be able to see. It might not be the prettiest of all of the bracelets, but better for learning and seeing. So a very, very good question just came through in the chat that I want to address. And that question was, do we turn into the ring or backwards? I always go against the curve. I suppose you could go toward the curve, but then you'll have the loop sitting on the inside of your wrist, which could be a little uncomfortable. I mean, it's a little teeny tiny loop. It's not going to be the end of the world, but I always twist against the grain or against the curve um, of my memory wire. And I'm trying to think, I don't think I know of anybody who does it the other way. But you never know. If it works better for you, I say go for it. So I have my two coils kind of balanced here. You can see you can kind of play around with how this is the most comfortable, but I have my two centers here, and I'm starting with two size 11 seed beads, and then I'm going to put my SuperDuo on one. And the first ones are always the hardest until the memory wire kind of understands what you want it to do. And now I have my SuperDuo and I have that strung on both of the memory wire pieces. And I'm just going to keep on doing that for as long as I have the patience for. I might have to put it down and come back to it. But when I'm done doing this, I have a really fun, cute design that was easy to do and worked up pretty quickly. I did a couple of new examples just to nimble my fingers up before class went live today. And it took me, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, a half an hour to make each one. So I'm just putting on a size 11 seed bead and a SuperDuo. And while I'm doing this, I just want to go over a couple more things about memory wire, because one of the biggest things to consider is how the size of your beads, all thumbs today, how the size of your beads affects the inner diameter. So I mentioned in the very beginning that there are a number of different sizes of memory wire. In the Michaels aisle, there are, let's see, I have my cheat sheet here. Where is my other? Here we go, Michaels items. So there is the standard size, there is the large size, and then there's the extra large size. Now, you might think to yourself, well, how do I figure out which size do I need, right? I have a small wrist, I have a large wrist, I have a medium wrist. All different people have all different size wrists. Well, that's one of the cool things about memory wire is it's pretty good at being forgiving for wrist size, especially when you have a number of different coils. The second thing that's really important to keep in mind is the size of your beads will have a really big effect on on the finished size of your bracelet, because the bigger the bead, the more room it's going to take up on the inside of your bracelet. So these are kind of medium-sized beads, but what if I had great big, I don't know, 12 millimeter beads? It's going to make this inner diameter smaller and smaller. It's also going to make the bracelet heavier and heavier. So again, when we're making jewelry, there are actually a lot of things to consider, not just how we're going to make it pretty. And at Beadalon, I spend probably more time than almost any human being should, thinking about these things, thinking about the different ways of constructing bracelets to make sure that they are going to be the most durable, long lasting, and stay together, because the last thing that we want is to spend all of our time making a beautiful piece of jewelry and then to have it fail on us. So Really important to think about what size beads you're using as to what the size of the finished bracelet is going to be. There are also different weights of memory wire. There is standard memory wire. There's also heavy duty memory wire. So again, just things to think about. Are you using size 11 seed beads? Probably standard memory wire is going to do you just fine. But are you using 12 millimeter agates or even bigger than that? Um, just things to consider while you're doing your materials picking. Um, then we talked about dangles and we talked about oval memory wire, which I always recommend. Um, I do have certain items that are my favorites, Meredith's favorites, and the oval memory wire is one of them. And I love it also because I discovered it well after its prime. So even though we had it in our product catalog for a pretty long time, I didn't really appreciate all of the great things that come along with using oval memory wire until years after probably I should have. And when I am using size 11 seed beads, and those of you who have taken lots of classes with me know this, I generally don't put them on or I don't string them up by holding them in my fingers. I generally, if I'm using beading wire, if I'm using a needle, what I will do is pick them up like this from my beading mat. Let's see if I can get a nice shot of that. Not really without fiddling around with my camera a little bit. But in the interest of being able to kind of see what I'm doing, I am picking them up. Also, when the two pieces of memory wire are side by side like this, sometimes it's easier just to string them up. So I have my beads moved down to the end of the memory wire, and you can see they're not going anywhere because I have those blurry, there we go. I have those nice coils on the end. And again, I love the idea of making some nice fun dangles off of the ends of those loops. And you can dangle anything to your heart's desire. Um, so let me see here. If there are any questions about memory wire, please feel free to add them in the comments. The great thing about memory wire is it's pretty straightforward. There are a lot of nuances and ways to kind of next level the memory wire, but at the most simple, in its most simplest state, it really is the perfect starting material for beading. Because here, my project it's a little bit next level, right? But maybe, and I'm going to set this aside for just a second, maybe I just want to do one, one, um, one turn. And maybe I just want to use some beads that I have here in the little cup, just some beads that I have lying around. I can go ahead and string those beads up, and because I can't just do one color, these are just some gemstones beads. You can find them on the beading wall at Michael's. I don't know if anyone has been to Michael's recently, but they have tons. Is that the technical term? I don't know if any of my Michael's friends are watching today, but tons, I'll say, of new bead strands. New Czech glass and lampwork beads and shapes and sizes and gemstones and oh my gosh, so many fun things. I was in there the other day looking for some beads for my next class, and I was just I always love seeing the new beads. I might be in my local Michaels more than most people are in Michaels ever, or perhaps all of you combined. I'm not ashamed of that. I love my local Michaels. But I was noticing that there are a lot of really, really cool and inspiration sparking beads in there. So again, it doesn't have to be complicated. It can just be stringing the beads up, keep going all the way around to finish up the bracelet. Now, I've been stringing for a little while. I have a long way to go. So I'm going to jump forward. I'm going to move these beads out of the way. And I'm going to jump forward to a bracelet that I had strung up and gotten ready. Trying to make sure that nothing falls off. Just gonna pull this off. Now, this is the challenging part because here I am at the end and I kind of have to eyeball this to know how much to leave at the end for my second set of loops. About 3/4 of an inch to an inch is a good eyeball. This is just in between 3/4 of an inch and a full inch. And I'm going to go ahead and I am going to finish off this side. Now, the one thing that I didn't show is the wire looping pliers when I was showing the different ways of doing the loops in the beginning. Like I said, this is one of the first tools that I ever bought as a beader, and they're originally really great for turning loops like simple loops and wrapped loops in wire work, but they also happen to be great for turning loops with memory wire. So let me just take an unfinished part right here so we can really see what's going on. Kathy has a great question. She's asking, is there such a thing as a clamp stand for memory wire projects? From watching it doesn't look like the easiest to work with. A third hand would be helpful. I am making it look a little bit fiddlier, I think, than perhaps it is. But understandably, some people have a little bit more trouble. It does tend to kind of move around. And if you're not holding it the right way, things can go awry fairly quickly. And I get that. There are specific helping tools in the Beadalon catalog that would be helpful for memory wire. You can probably, if you go on michaels.com onto the website, and search, you might be able to find a good tool for that. I don't know of a specific clamp stand for memory wire, but now I'm intrigued. So I'm going to have to do a little searching. Okay, so here I have my memory wire. Let's see. I got a new phone, so I'm just kind of trying to see its limitations for the focal length. And I have my wire in here and I have it laid just against the right side of the jaw, the concave part of the jaw. And I'm going to squeeze down to bring the jaws together. And I'm going to rotate my wrist. So I could do that one rotation, but I could also keep going to make the coil. Again, sorry about that. A coil isn't the most traditional way of finishing off memory wire, but I find it to be the most secure. And I don't mind teaching it. I think that it's okay because it really is a very secure way of finishing off memory wire. And you also have a little bit more leeway when you're working with that second side. And you can come in here and again, break the neck so that your loop looks more like an eye pin than a P, for lack of a better word. It's more centered and a little bit more professional looking. And so no beads are going to slide into that loop. It's going to be nice and tight. So let's go ahead and finish off both of the ends here. And I'm going to do it with my preferred technique, which is the memory wire finishing pliers. So I'm going to come in here. And again, you can see how the memory wire, because it's memory wire, it wants to come back on itself, right? So you just kind of either hold it out of the way or just let it be, let it go where it wants to, and don't fight it. And come here and make your loops with your memory wire finishing pliers. So what else did I want to say? Oh, and again, I'm just giving very, very small incremental movements that aren't over rotating my wrist, that aren't putting unnecessary strain on my wrist. We don't want to get hurt while we're finishing off our neck or our bracelet. So I'm going to do that same thing on this side. And I'm making a coil. I'm not making a spiral. I'm not making, I don't know what else I could be making, but I'm making a coil, like a spring. Sorry, I'm used to holding with my old phone. I could hold my work in a different place and not have to worry about it. And now I have to hold it down a little bit more. That's why we're getting a little bit more blurry than usual today. So here we have a really nice, very, very simple design, but is it secure? It's pretty secure, but if I wanted to make this more secure, I could put a clasp on it. I like a magnet clasp for um, a memory wire bracelet, because if I'm making a bracelet that's going to be super easy to put on and take off and super easy to use, a magnet clasp is a great way. Oh, and I opened this and I already had one open. See, I'm more prepared than I thought that I was. And this is just a normal magnet clasp, and there are plenty of them to be found at your local Michael's store. And what I would do is I would grab a nice size jump ring, and I would use a larger jump ring, and I would thread that jump ring through all of the loops. So quick lesson in jump rings, just it's always a good reminder. We're going to hold the jump ring with one pliers and open it toward ourselves with the other pliers. You don't want to open it away from each other. And I'm going to pick up all of these loops and my half of my magnet. And you can see the magnet wants to stick to the memory wire. So we have some forces working against us. We have the memory wire that wants to hold its shape. We have the magnet that wants to stick to the memory wire. And then we have the jump ring, which we need to get through all of these different loops. So things could get fiddly, but just stick with it and make sure that the wire knows that you are in charge. The magnet might have other thoughts. Magnets generally think that they're in charge. And then when you close the jump ring, you always want to just give it a little wiggle back and forth to make sure that it's closed all the way. It's one of the biggest challenges is in jump rings is making sure that you've got it nice and closed all the way. But then you have a little bit more security. I actually really like how that turned out. And then of course you can go back and do any sort of dangles that you want off of it. Let me take this guy off so we can really say. So, and it ends up just, super fun, really cute little cuff bangles. Here I have one that doesn't have any clasp. And here I have one that has just that extra security of a clasp, and a little bit of a different colorway. I can go in here and put this one on. So all of a sudden, I have these really fun stack bracelets that look great on, that complement any holiday outfit, any holiday that you celebrate, and whatever outfit, or just any day, really. I love this one because it uses pearls, which I think every day is a day to wear pearls. I've got my pearl necklaces on today as well. You'll see when we flip back up. But again, the possibilities with memory wire are limitless. Again, I showed this one in the beginning, but I want to show it again. You can actually use the memory wire as a frame and wire wrap beads onto. This actually might be a great class to do in the future. But you can see it doesn't even really need a clasp. Or a class. We did the same loop making technique on the end like we did today, and then just wire wrapped some beads around. Easy peasy. So hopefully I have showed some different ways of working with memory wire, depending on what tools that you have. And hopefully given some inspiration for different projects with different types of beads to use. Anytime that I get to use a 2-hole bead or a SuperDuo in a project makes me happy. And when it's as easy as turning some loops in memory wire and threading up some beads around, it makes for a really, really good project. And again, when you do those cuts and the cuts that we did in the beginning, when I did those 2 cuts, it will actually go around a little bit more. So you won't have to worry about any clasp at all. So lots of different if-thens, lots of different variables, and lots of different really creative possibilities for using memory wire. So Felicia, I think we are ready to flip back around. And I'm hoping that Marguerite, your fear of memory wire is now in the past. And if so, then my work here is done, because knowing how to use any of these beading materials, but really especially memory wire, because it is so easy and is so versatile and is a great place to start when you're starting to make beaded jewelry. So hopefully some of the tips and the tricks in this class were really helpful. And I know that Michaels will post the handout in the comments if you're watching this after the live. And so you can see the very simple instructions for doing the project that we did today, as well as some good extra tips and tricks for for working with memory wire in the future. Again, I'm Meredith from Beadalon. I do 1 class per month now for the Michaels Community Classroom, always looking for suggestions for things that you like to learn, or a technique that perhaps is giving you so much trouble and you'd like me to tackle in a Michaels class. You can always find me on Instagram at Meredith Joy Designs, and you can always get in contact with me through the Beadalon Facebook page. So I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you everybody so very much for joining me today. And until next time, happy beading.